What's up, folks, and welcome back to Myld Style. Today is Sunday, February 20 something. As you can see, happy day for me. I actually have my Mercedes Blanche indoors, and I just wanted to do a quick walk around since I really never have indoors on this car, and at least to show you what needs to go inside it. So again, for those who don't know, this is a 1989 Mercedes 300 CE. There is a slight bit of damage that was occurred recently, but we'll deal with that in a minute. This vehicle came with a straight six from Mercedes that is now being replaced with a straight six from a Toyota. So as I was saying, 1989 Mercedes 300 CE. These cars were made in much fewer production than the sedans, and some people know there were some wagons as well. Very similar in appearance to a 560, but that's a larger car. This was a mid-size coupe, like I said, that was made in limited production numbers. It did come with a straight six that is the same size as this Toyota one, but the Toyota 2JZ is a much more reliable and supported engine platform, at least in my part of the world. So as you see, it's a little dusty. I haven't worked on it since probably October, if that, and it's probably been longer than that. Things I do find interesting is that just looking at it now, I see a lot of the same parts that are on this V8, which is why I took on this V8 job, because other than being a 6-cylinder versus an 8-cylinder, Toyota used a lot of the same things on those years of production. So this is my intake manifold, intake airbox that I do plan to use a factory airbox on this. I don't want to have just a big cone filter tube thing on there. 5-speed trans, clutch and brake pedal to replace the automatic pedal that came in it, exhaust manifold, and wiring harness, because yes, this vehicle gets a wiring harness too. This is the computer. This would plug in here, which is going to be about here under the hood, and then we are going to run our wires. Then we're going to run our wires over to this side of the engine, and then some to this side. After that, we have to get onto the power steering and things like that, but there is a full list here on this car. I have ordered the shifter. The engine does need to come out. It's just being held in by a tie-down strap right now. So once the engine comes out, install the clutch, pilot bearing, shifter, trans, all as one assembly. We do have to cut a small hole in the floor to accommodate the shifter, finish the transmission mount. I do have a set of seats for this that are out of a 560 that are in much better condition that we'll get to at another point. Both mirrors, passenger side, as you can see. And then, as I mentioned before, something blew into it around September that bent this mirror and took out this fender. Thankfully, I have another one of these mirrors that we'll talk about later when I go get it. I do have another third brake light cover in the box over there as well. And I do have this mirror. So mirrors, possibly a fender, but I think there's a way to repair that fender, hopefully without having to replace it or paint it. Install the harness, yeah, that too, and then get it all clean. And then I do have a set of springs to lower the car on once the engine and transmission are set in there properly. So after that, then it's all the plumbing, fuel, power steering, coolant, and clutch lines. Finish the exhaust, get a drive shaft measured, and I'm sure there will be more after that. So that's where we are. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do today. I'm either going to lay out the wiring to see where I left off on it, or I'm going to remove the automatic pedal and put the manual pedals in there, because that'll be a big step as well. So thanks for watching. Got my helper with me, and we're doing great. Thank you. Welcome back, folks. It's still Sunday afternoon. What I decided to do is to start plugging in the harness, and I realized that the vantage point from the floor wasn't the greatest. It's funny because the last time I really physically worked on this harness was for like a month or so straight, but it was also at home. So now I'm getting to see how close, and most of them are close, my lengths are, because the reason this looks as wild as it does is because this is the harness that came on this engine, and Toyota harnesses are notorious for cracking in certain places. And so I wanted to go through it and kind of look it over and make sure everything was in good shape. So in doing so, I ended up opening the entire harness. So pinning out every single thing. So the goal will have all this, once everything's plugged in and made the proper length and routed the proper way, it will all get properly covered and heat shrunk and loomed and everything. So this is not at all, the irony of all this is that it really is, when it's done, going to be what you would call a tucked harness. So you won't be able to see any of it except what's necessary. So yeah, that's where we are now. Thanks for watching. So this is half of it routed now. So that's extra length for the O2 sensors. That goes down the alternator side. That's all good. Over the top, injectors, and then back over to where the ECU is going to live. Just a quick check-in. I'll show you. It'll look better soon. And I'm finally back to a starting point with my Mercedes wiring. I swear it looks a lot better now than it did before. It does to me, at least. So O2 sensors go back there, alternator, mass airflow here. Alternator, coolant sensor there. Under the cover, these loose ones are so I can get the lengths right. That's why there are so many copper ends sticking out there, is because those are wires that need to eventually make it over to the computer. But what I did realize, that where I left off, is that, and that's why this is two separate chunks here, a lot of these are blank wires that are run from those sensors to have enough length to meet back up with the ECU over here. So a lot of these, really it's a matter of connecting these to here, and in some cases I've actually run enough length to go over to some of the stuff on that side that's not connected. So it's not as crazy as it looks. It will eventually all get tucked away nice and neatly. I actually, yeah, I pretty much have this week to work on it while we're waiting on the powder coat to get back for the cruiser. So that's what I'll be doing here and at home, is getting my lengths back to a happy point to where this will all just kind of look normal. So thanks for watching. That's probably gonna be it for today. We're not sure what more we're gonna do today. And in case you're curious, this is what it looks like when I wrap it up to take it home. Then I'll work on it at home, and then the next time you see it, it'll hopefully look a little differently. Better, cleaner, less loose ends, etc.